Breaking news, the Saints just received some impactful updates from the San Francisco 49ers on the injury front, and we're going to break it down in full detail here on Saints Now by Chat Sports, and we're going to explain how this does impact the New Orleans Saints. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, I want to just dive in really quickly and explain. We've obviously already covered George Kittle. He has been placed on IR, so we're not going to spend too much time discussing him. But Brock Purdy, the breaking news coming in from Ian Rappaport, he will be out for week 2. And why does this impact the Saints? Lopez, why does this impact the Saints? Well, because we're playing them in week 2. And the injury news for Brock Purdy, I just kind of want to explain a little bit further. He could miss the next 2 to 5 weeks with a form of turf toe. So if you have him on your fantasy lineups, go ahead and put him on your bench because he ain't playing anytime soon. And in terms of George Kittle, he's also been placed on IR, like I said, with a hamstring injury. So he will be out for some time as well. And this does, like I said, impact the black and gold because you know who our next matchup is? You know who's coming to the Dome here this weekend is the San Francisco 49ers. Not Brock Purdy, not George Kittle taking the field. It's going to be Mac Jones leading Kyle Shanahan's 49ers. I personally think the odds for the New Orleans Saints just skyrocketed as the Brock Purdy injury news just came in. These numbers have not updated, so go beat the books really quickly and take the New Orleans Saints to win, or at least to cover the spread. I mean, come on, how are you not going to do that? Want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We are currently 111 subscribers away from 50,000, and that right there, ladies and gentlemen, will be a massive, massive milestone. So if you want to join our squad of over 49,000 crazy Saints fans, hit the sub button for free Saints content. Plus, we will be live on game day, so tune in to the coverage, and we're going to be live later on today, so I hope to see you guys later. Now, the 49ers offense, in case you guys were curious, is extremely beat up. They are severely injured, and so the Saints defense has an opportunity to seriously gain some confidence and make some big plays here. Now, here's what the 49ers starting offense would look like if everyone was healthy, if everyone was happy. You could also add Ricky Pearsall into this list as well. Brian Robinson Jr., reminder the Niners traded for him. This would be the starting offense. Shout out Brandon Aiyuk's headshot, by the way. That is awesome. I haven't seen that yet. That is awesome. This is the starting offense. Now, this offense is much more scary than this offense right here. Mac Jones, Christian McCaffrey, still a good football player. Jauan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Jake Tonjes. I just can confidently say this offense you see on screen right now is a lot less scary than the offense you saw on your screen just a moment ago. And like I said, I think this is an opportunity for the Saints defense to build some confidence in week 2. In week 1, they started off, in my opinion, pretty solid. Cam Jordan getting to the quarterback 1.5 times. Carl Granderson 1.5 times. Lante Taylor with a very clutch sack at the very end. But I do think that there are parts of their game that could be better. I thought that Kool-Aid McKinstry started off a little rocky but got better as the game went on. I want to see him have a complete game. I want to see the safeties be reliable when it comes to tackling, because especially now that Julian Blackmon is out with his injury, we're going to have to see Jonas Sanker, Jordan Howden really step up and fill the void of Julian Blackmon, who was the guy who got signed to replace Tyrann Mathieu's spot on the roster. So the Saints defense can build confidence in week 2. I firmly do believe they have a good opportunity ahead of them. I mean, you also have Brandon Staley looking for a little bit of revenge. He was their passing game coordinator, I believe, or their defensive assistant. He was on the defensive coaching staff for the San Francisco 49ers last year. So it's a little bit of a revenge game for him. And I do think that Brandon Staley will dial up something pretty interesting on the Saints defense to attack the 49ers offense because, in my opinion, Mac Jones, not nearly as good of a quarterback as Brock Purdy. He's not nearly as good under pressure. And if you can bring the blitz and you can have Chase Young healthy and you can have Carl Granderson and Cam Jordan and Brian Brzee get after the quarterback, then you have an opportunity to really cause some problems for the 49ers offense. We're going to talk a little bit more about the 49ers defense here in a moment because there's some injuries there, and to be totally honest, I do think that that's a really scary part of that roster. But really quick, got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor. This episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports brought to you by PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on PrizePicks, getting right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. I tried to tell my girlfriend, Maddie, hey, download PrizePicks because, you know, what they say, happy girlfriend, happy wife, happy life. She's right all the time. I'm never right. So I told her, you know what, might as well be right and make us some money and help, flip the grocery bill. But to be totally honest, it's also a really, really fun way to test your ball knowledge and go ahead and make some money and take some hot takes. If you're a firm believer in Travis Kelce, you're a firm believer in Jayden Daniels, you're a diehard fan of a certain player, you can lay down some cheddar and roll with them and try to make some money throughout the season. I have a really fun lineup for this week. Alvin Kamara, half a rushing or receiving touchdown. You just got to find the end zone once. I mean, come on. That's got to happen. And then Travis Kelce took a little bit of a free play here. Wanted to have a little bit of fun with this one. More on his receiving yards, only half a point. Yeah, come on. That's so easy. We're going to go ahead and take that. I went ahead and did this. You guys can do it too if you download the PrizePicks app. And guess what? We got a special little deal for you. If you download the PrizePicks app and use code CLNS, you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cold, hard cash. Reminder, if you download the PrizePicks app, you can use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All that information is available in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Now, to be honest, I do believe the 49ers defense is still a very, very good unit. And it makes me very worried about the Saints offense. I personally believe that the Saints offense didn't do enough for me to really feel confident that they can light up a scoreboard and can, move the ball up and down the field like crazy. No question about it. The 49ers defense has some really, really interesting talent. There's these guys you can see on your screen right now. Nick Bosa, one of the best in the National Football League when it comes to rushing the passer. Mykel Williams, rookie out of Georgia, first-round pick. He is also around Bryce Huff, Fred Warner, one of the best linebackers in the league. D. Winters, Diamador Lenore. But then you also have guys like Renardo Green. You have Upton Stout. You have Jason Pinnock, Jair Brown. You have Darrell Luter Jr. You have some really interesting talent. Kalia Davis, Alfred Collins, Jordan Elliott. I mean, they have some really nice pieces on their defense. And for Spencer Rattler, he is going to have a very tough task ahead of him because of how good that 49ers defense is. They're going to bring a lot of pressure, and I thought he did a great job in week 1 of avoiding getting sacked. Only got sacked once, which is awesome. But he is going to be facing a ton of pressure from the 49ers defense. Nick Bosa is going to be looking to feast on Spencer Rattler because he is a young quarterback. He does get frazzled under pressure. So I expect Spencer Rattler to face a lot of pressure, and Kyle Shanahan should be sending a lot of pressure, and the 49ers defense and Robert Salah should be bringing a lot of pressure for Spencer Rattler because he hasn't done enough to really prove that he can manage that pressure a lot. And in my personal opinion, I think that the New Orleans Saints offense needs to be a little bit more confident in how they approach this game than they were going into week 1. I'm going to get into this in full detail later on today. We're actually going to be live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports today on Thursday, 3 p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you guys there. Make sure your notifications are on because we're going to be diving into my full Week 2 preview. We're going to go into keys to victory, players to watch, storylines, injury news, everything you need to know. And then, of course, we're also going to have some really fun content later in the week. Me and Chase Sr., the host of the 49ers Report, going to be having a little bit of a fun conversation and getting both fan bases ready for the Week 2 matchup. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and we'll see you guys later live on the channel. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek because I do like to have a little bit of fun. Key to victory number 1. That's the one I'm going to give you to the live show. The one sneak peek. No pre-snap penalties. Total of 13 penalties for 89 yards. Most of those were pre-snap. Stop it. That's my key to victory number 1. You'll get to see the rest of them later on the live show, so make sure you turn on your noties. Now, when it comes to Kellen Moore, being the New Orleans Saints head coach, he needs to make sure that his team shows up to game day prepared because Kyle Shanahan is a smart football coach. He's experienced. He's faced a lot of good football teams. He's faced a lot of bad football teams. He's found ways to win, especially in the regular season. Can't necessarily say the same about the postseason, the Super Bowls. But I will say he is a coach who knows how to win football games, and he has a talented roster, and he will find ways to beat a less experienced coaching staff, a less experienced team, a lesser roster for what it's worth. And I do believe that Kellen Moore needs to show up prepared if he wants to give the Saints the best opportunity to win. That being said, though, Kyle Shanahan, known to crumble under pressure. If we can get him to fold like a lawn chair, then you will have a real shot to win this football game. If you start hot and you hit the Niners in the mouth early, he will crumble. Kyle Shanahan has been known to fold when the lights get bright and the pressure's on. If you can keep things close, or you can start hot and you can get to that 2-minute warning and you're tied or you're down by 3 and you have the football, oh boy, I think that the New Orleans Saints have an opportunity to win that game. We could see a classic Kyle Shanahan collapse late in the game. We've seen it so many times, and we could see it happen again in the Dome and get Spencer Rattler and Kellen Moore their first wins as the Saints quarterback and the Saints head coach. Now, who you got in this matchup? I want to hear from you. Who Dat Nation, type NO for the Saints, type SF for the 49ers. Reminder, we will be live later on today, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're 111 subs away from 50,000, and I have to say thank you to everyone who has supported the show and helped us grow this much, but we are not done yet. Job ain't finished, as they say. Lopez, I stumbled on my words right there. It happens. It's 8 a.m. We're getting content out, and we will see you guys later on live at 3 p.m. Central Time. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you later.